Happy Tuesday afternoon. Welcome back to the show. James Rule, XRP. I'm a crypto teacher. I'm not a financial advisor. Check out YouTube, share my channel, subscribe, like this video. I appreciate it very much. It helps the algorithm when people are searching for XRP or cryptocurrency or digital assets. And I want to thank everybody for being here today. We have some late breaking news. There's information that Chair of the Feds in the United States, Jerome Powell, has given the green light to cryptocurrency and banks in the United States, baby. We're going to look at ISO 20022 messaging standards, and we're going to look at the possible cryptocurrencies, digital assets that are ISO 20022 compliant that can possibly work in unison with the banking industry. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. We're still in the green. Market cap 3.380 trillion. Bitcoin is 105,879. Ethereum is 2447. XRP $2.20 and holding. And you can scroll through here. You could find bits and pieces and ecosystems and different types of cryptocurrencies, different types of stable coins. There are so many to choose from. We're going to look at several of them today, and we're going to have a good time. So I put this up on X about an hour ago. I said, here's some homework for you. XRP, XLM, FLR, HBAR, ADA, VeChain, ETH, and Bitcoin. These are cryptocurrencies. These are blockchain ecosystems that are ran by these tokens on top of them. Now, I did forget XDC. Somebody brought that to my attention. Zenfin XDC. So you can Google these digital assets. You can also go to Coin Paprika and break down each one. Let's keep going. Now, here is the big news of today. Powell. Rate cuts will continue when the time is right. Banks can engage in crypto, and tariff-driven inflation may pick up from June. Today, Representative Brian Steele, at Rep Brian Steele, questioned Fed Chair Jerome Powell about banks and regulated entities engaging in digital assets. Watch this 1 minute and 30-second clip.
Taking that action, I do agree that there were real political bias in some of those exams, in particular as it related to regulated entities engaged in the digital asset space. Let me shift into the digital asset space. If I can, another action recently taken by the Fed, the Novel Activities Supervision Program was ended and withdrew several statements on digital asset related risks that deterred bank involvement in particular. You in the Fed and others at the Fed have spoken positively about the House and Senate work to regulate stablecoin in particular, a real opportunity to dollarize the globe and be a significant purchaser of U.S. Treasuries. Following that action by the Fed, have you seen an identifiable shift in banks or other regulated entities as it relates to engagement in the digital asset space?
You know, I wouldn't be the one to be picking that up first, but what I do see is a very significant change in the tone, and it really does reflect evolving thinking and the evolving status of the crypto industry. And I would expect over time we'll see more activity.
How is the Fed evaluating and overseeing banks or other regulated entities that are in the digital assets or crypto space?
So our view is that banks get to decide who their customers are. That's not our decision. And so banks are free to provide banking services to the crypto industry, to crypto companies. And banks are also free to conduct crypto activities as long as they do so in a way that is protective of safety and soundness.
Hello. You heard it from the chair of the Federal Reserve in the United States, Jerome Powell, in his own words. The green light is coming, baby. The green light is coming. So the U.S. Senate Banking Committee, GOP, CNBC covered Chair Senator Tim Scott's release of principles for the development of comprehensive digital asset market structure legislation. Check this out real quick.
We're getting new details on a crypto regulation framework out of Washington. Emily Wilkins joins us with more on that. Emily, good morning.
Good morning, Becky. Yeah, well, CNBC got an exclusive first look at what could be the biggest crypto bill of the year coming out of D.C. Banking Chairman Tim Scott, along with Senator Cynthia Lummis, introduced a framework today for a piece of legislation that would really provide the rules of the road for crypto and other digital assets. Now, this framework includes things like a definition of digital assets, when they would be regulated as a security versus as a commodity. The framework for the bill commits to reducing regulation, and it also says that there is a need for a small common sense package of measures directed at things like preventing money laundering and sanctions evasion. Now, the bill is yet to come, but Lummis, who called for the bill to pass before the end of the year, has said in a statement to CNBC that while the European Union and Singapore have established clear regulations, U.S. continues to sit on the sidelines while the digital asset industry seeks greener pastures. That changes today, she says. The new outline builds on momentum last week when the Senate passed a stablecoin bill with strong bipartisan support. Trump is now pushing for the House to move on that bill, saying on Truth Social that the House must get it to my desk ASAP, no delays, no add-ons.
There you go. So this bill is different from the Genius Act, the stablecoin bill that is going to get to President Trump's desk ASAP. Hopefully here in the next month or so. Ellie Tarrant pretty much breaks down the GOP's newly released market structure principles signed by Senator Tim Scott, Cynthia Lummis, Haggerty, and Tom Tillis. And here is the layout. The Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Chairman Tim Scott pretty much breaks it down. Legislation should be cleared and define the legal status of digital assets, whether it be a security with the SEC or a commodity with the CFTC. Jurisdictions should be clearly allocated among regulators. Regulation should be modernized to foster innovation. And I've brought this up in the past. I mean, we need time limits on some of these individuals that have been in Congress, senators, congressmen and women that have been there. We need term limits because they've been there forever. They've been there since, the 70s, the 80s, the 60s, whatever. And many of them do not want to accept this new innovation, this new blockchain technology. And they are putting, they're like bad apples in the bushel. We don't need them. We need term limits, baby. And that's just my opinion. Regulations should protect those who purchase or trade digital assets. Exactly. Illicit finance measures should be targeted and pro-innovation. There's scammers out there. There's money laundering happening, but, they are going to be found out. Blockchain technology is transparent. They're going to be had. They're going to be found if they use blockchain technology and cryptocurrency to do illegal activity. Federal financial regulators should welcome responsible innovation. Yes, the banks now are going to be able to handle crypto companies, cryptocurrency, crypto exchanges, money to transfer for crypto, and crypto transferred for money. It's all going to happen. And thank you very much, Ellie Tarrant. Ellie Tarrant is now on with the journalist and host at Crypto America, the company that they formed. She was formerly with Fox Business. Thank you, Ellie Tarrant. Now, we are going to take a brief look at ISO 20022. And we're going to look at cryptocurrencies that have been tied to ISO 20022. And if we look at this brief illustration before we look at the page, you can see we have Ripple, we have the token XRP, and we have the symbol FLR here. We have Interledger, Hyperledger. You're looking at Stellar XLM with the FLR logo. You're looking at XDC, which is ZenFin, a cryptocurrency with the FLR logo. Algorand with the FLR logo, which is Algo, and then IOTA, and then Constellation, and then all of these HBAR. I forgot about HBAR. Hedera Hashgraph is a cryptocurrency. And all of these financial institutions, all of these blockchain ecosystems have their own unique kind of style, kind of use case. And when you look at interoperability, you look at ISO 20022, a messaging standard that's going to be used for banks around the world, we go to this article. And I'm not going to go into detail. I'm going to briefly show you the digital assets, the cryptocurrencies, the blockchain ecosystems that are being highlighted for ISO 20022 standards. I'm going to leave a copy of it below because it is a very lengthy article, and I'm going to let you tear it down yourself. Key takeaways. ISO 20022 is changing how banks and payment systems talk to each other, and some crypto projects are building with that in mind. These cryptos can carry structured data inside each transaction, which helps with things like audits, compliance, and faster processing. Instead of trying to replace banks, they're built to work with existing systems and fit into real-world financial infrastructure. The SWIFT network was created over 50 years ago. It's old. It's 1, 2, 3 days to send money around the world. Well, when you incorporate blockchain technology, you go from days to seconds, people. This makes them more useful for cross-border payments, digital currencies, and enterprise tools. But just being ISO ready doesn't guarantee success, adoption, regulation, or real utility. And real utility still matters. If you're investing, focus on how the tech is being used, not just whether it checks a box. XRP, ISO crypto supporting cross-border payments. I'm not going to go into detail. Shows the key features. Stellar XLM focuses on financial inclusion and remittances. I'm not going to go into detail. Algorand, ISO 20022 crypto supporting CBDCs. Key features, pros and cons. Quant type, ISO 20022 crypto focusing on interoperability. And then IOTA focuses on IoT payments and data integrity. So all of these different blockchain ecosystems that we see here were created to do different things in the world. You're looking at payments. You're looking at authenticity. You're looking at, documenting. You're looking at tokenization. You're looking at tokenizing stocks and real estate and collectibles and all of the above, and meshing all these together so that they could be interoperable and they could also work in the banking system for sending money fast, documenting things, putting things on ledgers, putting things, documenting it's whenever you put it on the blockchain, it's written in stone. And I'm trying to spit it out. It's written in stone. It's there and it's not going away, and it could be checked, it could be looked at, and it's just really exciting, people. Break down this page. There are a ton of things to break down, a ton of things to learn. I'm still learning things every day in this space. I've been in this space for about 8 years. I've had my channel for about a little over 5 years. Make sure to subscribe to the James Rule Crypto Show. I go by James Rule XRP on socials. Thank you very much. Thank you to the new subscribers out there. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow. James Rule XRP is out of here. I told you so.